want to move POV Sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about.
Don't nobody come to your house and try to take food off your plate. No. Fall out on 3. 1, 2, 3. Fall out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Bring it down.
Issues Radio Live. The POV Sports Show.
I'd like to welcome you to another POV Sports Show here on issuremedia.com. I want to thank my buddy Donnie Phoenix again for the forum. And we just want to say thank you for tuning in. Hope that you enjoy the show that we have for you tonight. We have special guest Omari Smith. He's a resident of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Pop Warner football coach. Has won 4 city titles, 2 national titles, and he's a diehard Thunder, Michigan, and Lions fan. So I just wanted to let him introduce himself and tell him thank you for doing the POV Sports Show on tonight. It's on you, Omari.
Hey, what's going on? I am Omari Smith. I am a diehard Thunder fan, Michigan fan, Lions fan. I enjoy the games, football and basketball. I enjoy coaching, and you know it's a good positive way to give back to the youth. And I'm happy to be here. I want to thank Devon on looking out, on putting me on this show, and let's get it going.
Sounds good. Let's get it going. First, I want to jump right into let's just get right into it. KD leaving OKC, since that's been your team since about '96. I think you told me about. You've been a fan about 20 years, so you were a fan when they lost the Bulls in the finals that year. So I know you're a real fan. So I wanted to know what you thought about him. You know, of course, him leaving and going to the team to beat them, the Warriors. And also, I want to jump into what do you think about? Also, I want you to piggyback Westbrook deciding to stay and signing that extension for 3 years. What is your take on what is going on? How do you feel about it, and what do you expect now with him leaving? How do you expect the Thunder to look as a team?
Well, personally, I when I seen it that KD decided to go to Golden State, I thought it was a soft move, you know, and you know that's why I really admire Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, you know, Tim Duncan, because of the simple fact that the loyalty game, you know, has became it's very strong for me. You know what I'm saying? And I figured KD would stay, but at the end of the day, he wants a title, and you know, I'm over it now. You know what I'm saying? I have no choice but to respect his decision. And now with Westbrook deciding to stay, and now it's time for us to just build around him. You know, put some pieces around him that'll make the Thunder, you know, a championship contender again. So I think, you know, it's been rumored that Rudy Gay would come or would join the team also with the acquisition of Blake Griffin next year. I think that if that all works out, I think the Thunder would be back in championship contender. But Golden State, you know, it's gonna be exciting to see if that works. I don't know. They got some pure shooters, you know, and you know I can't wait till the NBA season starts. I really can't wait till we face off versus the Warriors, because I think Westbrook gonna try to, you know, have a ball out game. I think he gonna end up putting up the numbers to get an MVP of the league. And I kind of see the Thunder like at least in between 5 and 8 in the Western Conference. You know.
Okay. I agree with Westbrook. I think he's going to put up numbers. I think what's going to happen as far as him getting the MVP, I think it's going to be a little more difficult because the league tends to give it to a player on a team with a top 2 or 3 record in the league. It's very rare that somebody with a 5 through 8 in the playoff race gets the MVP. Even though I think he's going to have the numbers. I just wonder, will they overlook that and give it to a KD, a LeBron, a Kawhi Leonard, who teams will probably end up with a better record. But I do agree with them looking at Rudy Gay and Blake Griffin, and I think overall, I think they'll still be a tough out. They won't be an easy team to beat. I just think they won't have that 6'11" monster that can just flat out get you a bucket when you have to have one. Westbrook's going to have to learn how to play a little more under control, in my opinion, because now KD won't be there to bail him out. He'll have to bail himself out because they don't have another guy that they can trust to go get a bucket like that. They don't. So I think they'll win 47, 48 games. I see them winning that many games. I do. Okay. All right, let's get on to a little bit of college football here. Let's talk Michigan football. Let's talk Jim Harbaugh. Let's talk last year's 10-3 record. The annihilation of Florida in I believe that was the Citrus Bowl, I believe it was, or I forgot what bowl they beat him in, but I think they beat him 41-7. And let's just talk about him starting out at Stanford, doing very well, having USC's number, beating Pete Carroll a few times, going to the pros, winning two NFC championships, he went to the NFC Championship game 3 times and won 1, got to the Super Bowl once and lost to the Ravens in the last couple of minutes. But let's talk about him coming back to college and how he's perceived by many of the college coaches and the way he has kind of tried to, I guess, put Michigan back on the map by kind of letting people know that they aren't afraid of teams and things. But what is your take on him? I know you're a fan, so I know you're probably enjoying the fact that he's getting them back to, being, known again, back to being a team that people, know can step on the field and, put up numbers on you and things. I wonder what you think about him as a whole and the program and where it's headed, and what is your expectations for them this year?
I believe the program, the Michigan program, I believe it has become better because of the simple fact, if you look at the 11-3 record of last year, mind you, that was Brady Hoke's team, and he did go 11-3. I honestly, I like you've been telling me, we got to beat State and Ohio State. Those are 2 top teams in the Big Ten, and until we dethrone them, all this other talking that Harbaugh is doing, I think you need to be quiet for a minute because, Nick Saban doing a damn good job over there at Alabama.
Yeah, he got and he seems to come for Nick Saban a lot. It's amazing to me. I'm like, why are you coming for the standard? Leave the standard alone. Come for somebody else,
Right. Yeah, he has to. And like I said, this year I really think we will beat State because State got off that blown. I wish the guy would have just fell on the ball, and they got off and they got lucky. State did, and I'll be at that game in East Lansing this year.
That's what's
and
up.
I'll be glued out. So.
That's what's up.
I do see us beating State, but Ohio State is, they tough.
Yeah, they tough. Both teams are tough, and they both road games. I'm of the mindset that I think they'll split with one and lose to the other. I don't know where they're going to win. I think they'll win one of the 2. I'm more liking to believe they have a better shot at winning in East Lansing than they do in Columbus. But in Columbus, they've had success. Not in the last few years, but they've had a lot of success in Columbus in the history of that rivalry. So I'm saying with him coaching, Urban Meyer bringing in a lot of new pieces. They do have a shot at winning at Columbus because outside of the quarterback, can't think of his name, JT Barrett, Ohio State's putting out a whole new offense and a lot of new defensive guys. They lost a lot of guys to the draft, so they're not the same team that was dominant the last 2 years in college football. So I think Michigan, with what he's bringing in next year, and I expect this guy to be big for them. I expect Jabril Peppers to play 100 plays a game. I read the other day that Michigan's planning on using him 100 plays a game, offense, defense, and special teams. I think of them 100, he's going to make a play or two every game that's going to have a lot to say about the outcome. I just think the kid has immense talent. He's a tweener. He's kind of a safety and a linebacker and all in one. He kind of reminds me of the guy the Redskins just drafted, Stuart Craven. Can play a little bit of both. So when Harbaugh decides to use, and he runs a 4.3, that doesn't hurt. He can fly. So I see Michigan using him more to open up things and to get their offense going and to, I just see him being used on a blitz package more. I think Harbaugh understands more about what he can do, having a year under his belt and having a whole off season to really, really have him under him. So I think he's going to play a big role, and I expect the wide receiver, I think his last name is Chesson, to have a huge year too. So I expect them to have, and of course Jordan Lewis is a stud on the corner. They have a very good squad, All right, let's jump into before we go to a break. Let's jump into a quick question about your Lions. I wanted to know what you thought about your Lions fan. I want to know what's your feeling of Megatron stepping away, and why have two of the biggest stars in the history of the franchise, being Barry and Megatron, why have they both retired still with a lot of their prime left ahead of them? It's almost like they just I don't want to play here no more. I'm just going to quit football. And I saw on E60 Megatron did say that his body was starting to break down and he was taking a lot of painkillers and things. But I just want to know what you think about him and Barry both kind of just stopping in their prime playing for your Lions.
Oh man, it's too much L's, too many games, they're losing too much, and they put their body on the line. Especially Calvin, he's 6'5", and he coming across that middle. He's been hurt the last couple years, and is not producing any W's. And Barry, that he probably one of the best running backs I ever saw. And it just they couldn't win. They bust their tail in training camp, come out in the regular season, and just lose. But my thing is, I think it's coaching, man. I mean, you have to know your team. You can't just put a system in where you don't have the people to run that system. I personally I wouldn't. I'm not a spread guy. I'm a downhill type of coach. But I think they need aggressive coaching, man. They need aggressive coaching on defense and offense. And I think until they get that, they're gonna still struggle when they get it.
Yeah, and the problem with that, and a lot of that is the problem, because a lot of the problem they have is the division they play in. The Vikings and the Packers have gotten stronger, especially the Vikings with all the picks and the Bridgewater and Adrian Peterson still there, and adding a Laquan Treadwell and Stephon Diggs. Those and that defense for the Vikings, as we were talking last week, Dondre, with Jermaine Murray, who was our last week guest. He's a diehard Vikings fan, and we got to debating about, just talking about the Lions and the Packers and the Bears in that division. And the Vikings, for my money, will be the team to beat over the next few years. I think you will see Aaron Rodgers slowly decline, and you'll see the Vikings with all the pieces they've added. If they can keep those guys around, even with Adrian Peterson on the decline, the team is going to be turned over to Bridgewater, who I think has a lot of it. People don't see it yet. I think going into that dome, he's always been outdoors, having to throw the deep ball out in that bad wind and stuff. Now he gets to go indoors where the wind won't be a factor. And I think that's the one knock on him. I think you're going to see that he can get the ball downfield. And I think the Vikings, with that defense, I like their chances of being the team to beat in that division for a while. I really do.
Yeah, I do too, man. They tough in that division.
Yeah, they're tough. They're very tough. They're gritty. They're a gritty football team. They don't do anything pretty. They just beat you. And Mike Zimmer is a heck of a coach, as we discussed last week with our guest last week. We got into it. He just knows how to coach the game of football. And I just think the Lions missed out on their opportunity to really make a run when they had all the pieces a couple years ago, and they lost, I think, to the Cowboys in the playoffs one year and to the Saints one other year. They had, to me, those two teams were good enough to get farther than they did, and they never did with the Sue and Fairley on the defensive side. They never got to where they should have, in my opinion. But just wanted to get your thoughts on that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the POV Sports Show in a moment.
America's favorite pastime is on Fox Sports 1. The Giants of the game. Go head-to-head for the best matchups of the season.
What a ride!
Don't miss the plays.
It is caught!
The players.
Crush!
And the passion of Major League Baseball all season long on Fox Sports 1.
Stop by McDonald's and get 10-piece Chicken McNuggets for just $2. Or make it an extra value meal for just $5. Only at McDonald's.
It's yours!
I'd like to welcome you back to the POV Sports Show. We have special guest Omari Smith here with us today, and we've just been dialoguing about different things that some of the things that some of the teams he likes and some of the things that's going on in the sports world. I want to jump into what's your take on just overall NFL starting up. What is your take, and what are some of the things you're looking for this season? And if you had to pick two teams right now, I know it's probably crazy, it's going to change, that you see playing in the Super Bowl this year based on what you know about these teams coming into camp and what you've heard about these two teams, one from each conference, who would you say will be playing in February for the whole thing, for the Vince Lombardi Trophy? Who you think has a great shot to get there?
Probably have to go with Carolina coming out the NFC, and probably New England coming out the AFC. The reason I say New England, even though Brady with the 4-game suspension, I think when Brady come back, they're going to probably be either 2-1 or 3-1 or 2-2. And then I think Brady going to have a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to ball out. And I have to go with the Panthers and the Patriots.
I agree with the Patriots. I think the Panthers have a good shot too. I want to see how their defense is. Even though I know Josh Norman was more of a system guy for them, he still made a lot of big plays, and I want to see how their young guys develop at the corner spots because they went young a little bit this year. But I still think the Arizona Cardinals are close. I think they have enough. They need to get the Panthers in Arizona in the NFC Championship. They can't travel. They need that game indoors in their dome. And I still don't count the Seahawks out. You never count out the Seahawks. They have enough to take anybody out. And Green Bay is always a team you got to be leery of. And my sleeper is the Vikings, as we've been talking. The Vikings have enough, in my opinion, to play with anybody. Their thing is Bridgewater. Will he be developed more as the season goes on, or will he still be a guy that's in developmental mode? But I really think those teams are can get to the NFC from the NFC. I think New England, of course, is the best team in the AFC. And I think with 3 home games they played a 1 road game to start the season at Arizona. I'm going to put that down as a loss opening night. But then they get 3 straight home games. That'll be Brady's 3 games he's out. They're going to lose at home. Right. They're going to play the Texans, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Those are 3 games I expect them to win, even with Garoppolo, because I just think them 3 teams don't have a good enough quarterback or coaching to outcoach a Belichick, who knows he's going to have to be really, really ready without having Brady in his back pocket. So I expect them to be 3-1 when he gets back and to win like 13 or 14 games. I just think they're just, when you look at their team and what they've got catching the ball this year, they add a lot of pieces. And people keep saying, we hate them. You got to respect them guys. Every year, they're right there. Every year they're right there. And I don't care if you like, oh, this, daddy. They're just a dynasty that has just never gone away since Brady took over at quarterback. They've always been around. It's just they've been around. You know,
it's a system. They got a great system. You know, like every quarterback. So like if Brady get hurt, it seems like every quarterback flourished in that system, but then they go somewhere else and they can't flourish.
That's true.
You know,
Matt Castle got rich off that 1 year.
Yeah.
And he keeps getting jobs based on that 1 year, like he can really play. That system that they put in years ago, that quick passing system, which is really a running game, because the running game is their short passing game. It's almost impossible to defend because they get so many guys running the same little routes and doing the little divots and the little option routes and stuff, and they get open and they block well for each other. They play together. They just play together. When you watch them, they don't do anything out the ordinary. It's just basic hat on a hat, man on a man football. And you sit there, you go, this isn't that hard to stop, but no one stops it. So it's just like, for me, I just think they're going to be there. All right, let's jump into a little bit of golf. For this year, we've had 4 major champions. All of them have been 4 first-time winners of majors. First time that's happened in the history of the PGA, I believe. So we had Danny Willett win the Masters in April. We had Dustin Johnson win the U.S. Open in June. And we had Henrik Stenson win the Open over in Scotland in July. And then we had Jimmy Walker win the PGA Championship last week. Then yesterday, we had the greatest round ever in golf history. Jim Furyk, a one-time major winner as well, put up a round of 58. Even though he was 16 shots behind, his round was so good that he came within 3 shots of winning the tournament, the Travelers Championship yesterday. It was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So what is your take on Tiger Woods, and do you ever think we'll see him win another major with all these new guys coming out? And I didn't even mention Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy, guys that have been on top of the game with Tiger being down. Do you think it's over for Tiger, sort of like Kobe and Tim Duncan and now A-Rod going away and Teixeira, guys that have been around their sport for a while? Do you think it's time for Tiger to sort of put the clubs up and call it a career?
Yeah, because it seems like every time he says he feels good, then all of a sudden, when the PGA Tour come up or anything come up, he needs to just give it up. He had a great career, and he needs to give it up, man. And as much as I hate to say it too, but he's done it too much. It's too much talent in golf right now, and I don't think Tiger can hang no more.
I agree with that. I think he hasn't won a major since 2008. That's 8 years, almost going on 9 years since he won a major. And I just don't see the injuries have caught up. The body looks broke down, and he just doesn't look like a guy that is going to win. He's at 14 majors, which is second all time. The record is 18, and I just don't think he can get 4 more. I just don't see him winning another one with the injuries and the lack of time he's had on the golf course in the last 3 years. He hasn't been on the golf course a whole year, and he's only played like 2 whole years in the last 8. He's been hurt for most of the last 8 years. It's like at some point maybe have to call it a career. Just say, hey, it was great while it lasted. The body broke down on me, and just let it go. I think for a lot of them guys, they just don't know when to quit. I think they just continue on, and they become shells of themselves, and that's what's going on in New York with Teixeira and A-Rod being asked to pretty much retire because they're shells of themselves now. Them guys aren't half of what they were a couple of years ago when the Yankees were still pretty good. So, okay. Right. Wanted to get your thought on that. Father Time is still undefeated, and they have to understand that. I think they're starting, and I think Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, they all realize, Father Time is winning. I have to just go. I've done all I can do with this great game. I've given it all I got. Let me just go ahead on into the sunset and enjoy my retirement, enjoy all I've put in the work to enjoy now. So glad to see that. Quick, wanted to touch The Olympics started this past weekend on Friday. Well, actually on Thursday they had a couple soccer matches before the opening ceremonies. We have the women's soccer team beat France 1-0. Hope Solo, the goalie for the U.S., has now appeared in 200 career matches as the U.S. goalie. She has 102 shutouts in that time. 102 shutouts. Carly Lloyd with the lone goal. She is now the best player in the world, I think, at this point, after her performance last World Cup with the goals in the World Cup that she put together. I think now she has taken the mantle from Wambach and those guys that left her the mantle. She's assumed it, and she's now in her realm of being the best player in the world. Simone Biles and Ali Raceman in the women's gymnastics last night. Happened to see that, and I wanted to get your thoughts. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a lot of bickering about Ali Raceman getting the nod over Gabby Douglas, the 2012 gold medalist, and the women's individual all around. There's only 2 get to go from each country, and Raceman beat out Gabby Douglas, and I thought she was better. She deserved to beat Gabby Douglas. A lot of people were saying that the judging was rigged, and you know why, because Gabby's black and Ali's white. So, my opinion, Ali was the better gymnast last night, and she deserved to move on to the individual with Simone Biles and have a chance to bring home the medal that Gabby brought home in 2012. What is your take on that?
Oh, man. It's the best person won to me. I mean, Gabby, she's just amazing, you know, and I feel they gave it to the right person. I feel she won. I can't really say. I mean, she won. You know, at the end of the day, she won. I don't know why they have any disagreement with that. I mean, she did good. Ali
was better. Ali Raceman was better last night. Gabby was good in some areas. Raceman, to me, didn't have any real hiccups. She had a couple little maybe technical issues, but I thought overall her whole floor performance and everything was cleaner. She was just cleaner overall in her performance, you know. And to me, that's what the judges look for when they look for cleanliness, and she was clean. She didn't have many hiccups. I thought Gabby had a few errors that they were really noticeable, and when you do that, that will hurt you when you're going up against elite competition. And Gabby knows that because she didn't have that problem in 2012. That's why she took home the gold. Any hiccup against that kind of competition will come back to haunt you because you're going against the best in the world, not just the best in your state, the best in your country. The whole world is there. And that's what I thought. Ali Raceman was just a little bit better. I think Simone Biles is the best gymnast in the world now. I think she's going to win the gold, and she could come home with 5 gold medals based on how great she is overall. She has a great shot to be the first to ever win 5 gold medals in the gymnastics realm. Wanted to touch base about Michael Phelps collecting his 19th gold medal last night as the second leg of the men's 4x100 freestyle relay. They beat France, who beat them in 2012, and then they beat France in 2008. So it's been like a rivalry the last 3 Olympics. So he last night won his 19th gold medal overall, which is just absolutely, he's the most decorated Olympian in history. Then I want to touch Katie Ledecky from Bethesda, Maryland. She broke her own world record last night and won the 4x100 as well and won gold medal last night. And she won the race by about, I want to say there was not a person within maybe 10, 12 body lengths of her when she finished the race. And she's only 19. It's her second Olympics. And it's just amazing to see. And both of those guys are Baltimore, D.C. natives. Her and Michael Phelps are from the Baltimore, Bethesda, D.C., DMV area. So it's amazing to see that kind of talent come from an area that I live in particular. And I'm just so happy to see them do what they're doing overall with the Olympics and the swimming part. And just wanted to say the men's basketball team beat China by 57. The women beat Senegal by 66, and then today they beat Spain by 40. The men are playing right now as we speak, recording the show. Both teams are living on the boat on a cruise ship, as we know, due to the shaky living arrangements they have over in Rio right now as we speak. And just wanted to give credit and tell all them. And actually, I wanted to say one more thing. Venus and Serena also lost their first doubles match in Olympic history yesterday, and all the times they've been in the Olympics. I think personally the wear and tear of winning Wimbledon and then Venus getting to the semifinals of it, I think it just absolutely wore on both of them. I think they just looked tired and lethargic, and give credit to the girls that beat them from, I believe it was the Czech Republic. But I think overall the Williams sisters just look tired. I think they're just worn out, and they still have the U.S. Open coming up when the Olympics is over. So I think in a lot of ways, you know, you have that. Then you had Novak Djokovic. He lost in the first round to Juan Martín del Potro, who is a good tennis player, but you got Djokovic also got to the semifinals of Wimbledon, I believe, and lost. So it's like these great players play so much tennis and get so far in tournaments throughout the year that when they do have a hiccup, not taking credit from the opponent, but I tend to lean towards more of the maybe they were just tired and just a little worn out, and they caught up with them, because these great players, they go all the way to the semis and the finals of almost every tournament they enter. So when they do get beat, it's a big deal. But when you beat a lot of people that beat them aren't half as talented, but they end up beating them because you catch them on a day where they aren't hitting on all cylinders, and you come out and that's your championship, beating a player of that caliber. So in my opinion, that's what I think happened in some of those matches that have gone on thus far. Just wanted to say thank Omari for giving us his time today. I want to thank him for his expertise in many different areas, and want to say thank you for just coming on the show and bearing with us. We tried to get it all together with the delay and then having to do it today instead of yesterday. I want to thank my producer, Andre over Phoenix. I want to thank him for the forum again. I just want to say thank you for everyone that's tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another great show. And want to say hit me on Facebook at POV Mason. You can hit me on Twitter at POV Mason Sports, and you can hit me on Instagram at POV Mason Sports as well. I want to say have a great week. I want to say enjoy your week. Be blessed. God give you everything that you ask for and that you desire, and treat somebody good, treat everybody good, and you'll see things happen for you. God bless you. Have a great week, and once again, POV is out. Want to move POV Sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about.
Don't nobody come to your house and try to take food off your plate. No. Fall out on three. 1, 2, 3. Fall out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Bring it down.
It Shows Radio Live. The POV Sports Show.